I'm great. Hope everyone else is. Awesome. All right, thanks a lot, Kent. I appreciate everyone being here today. It's great to be back in Louisiana after a few weeks away. We're really excited about this great opportunity we have on Saturday for a lot of reasons. The obvious being how good a team SMU has. I'll preview them in a moment, but I think the opportunity to play in the NBA arena is a great for our players. To do it here in New Orleans is terrific for our program. We're thrilled to be a part of the event with Coach Mulkey and her elite program. And then also there's a small community service piece to the event on Friday night where our players will get to spend some time with a couple youth organizations in New Orleans that I think will be great for our players and our program. So really looking forward to it. I think when you look at SMU, fantastic team. Their 5 starters all play between 29 and 35 minutes a game, all 5 double-figure scorers. The backcourt is terrific, multiple playmakers. Not only do they have Miller, who's 20 points and 7 assists a game, getting to the line 8 times a game, free throw line that is. Edwards is getting almost 6 assists a game at the 2 position, and then Pierre scoring right around 20 a game as well. And then the front court of Washington and the 7'2" player, 24, and I apologize if the name's incorrect, but Yigatulu is fantastic. So a great challenge for us, but also a great opportunity on Saturday in the Smoothie King Center, and love to answer any questions going into the game.
Yeah, Coach, I guess just coming off the last game, what kind of lessons do you guys learn as a team from something like that, and just what were, I guess, some of your bigger takeaways from that game?
First and foremost, there wasn't any media after the game, so I would certainly credit Texas Tech right away. I thought they played incredibly well on both ends of the floor, and that had a lot to do with their struggles. I think on the offensive side, we did not do ourselves any favors in the first half. Now, Texas Tech's defense had a lot to do with that. When you look at our last 60 minutes of basketball, excluding the overtime period in Boston, we have struggled to score. It's just the reality. I think the number that probably jumps out to everyone off the jump would be we have not shot the ball well from 3. That is clearly a concern. I think we have really good shooters. I'm not worried about that moving forward. The bigger concern to me is through 7.5 games, we were top 5 in the country in getting the ball to the rim and our 2-point percentage. And we were 7-22 in the first half from 2-point range. And I thought some of those tough shots that we took led to some disadvantaged transition possessions going the other way. And then on the defensive side, again, credit to Texas Tech, but we did a poor job defending the 3-point shot in the first half. And you're not going to beat a top 20 team when you're minus 27 points from behind the 3-point line in today's college basketball. So, I think our players learned a lot from it. I learned a lot from it. We've had a really good week of practice. I think the players have done a nice job of balancing final exam week, making some corrections, and getting better from Sunday's game, while also preparing for what I consider easily an NCAA tournament team in SMU.
Speaking of that loss, what you gonna take away from that loss to be better going?
Yeah, I think the offensive side, the things I mentioned there, we have to be more efficient on that side of the ball. We got to make some shots, clearly, but it's my responsibility to get us some easier looks. We had 31 catch-and-shoot opportunities in that game on Sunday, and we only made 6 of the 31. Usually we're right around 50 to 55% success rate on those opportunities. We were below 20% on Sunday, therefore we really struggled to score. And then I think you look at the explosiveness of SMU, one of the fastest playing teams in the country. Our transition defense will have to be really good. and we have to improve our ability to defend the three-point shot.
Hey, Coach, now a couple games without Jaylen. Just how have you evaluated the four position and just how you've had to be kind of versatile in that spot?
Yeah, Matthew, I think the challenge there has been, with the 4 games in 9 days all the way from home since it happened, there wasn't much practice time to make the adjustments that we probably need to make there. Jaylen, coming off the rehab, was playing about 20 minutes a game. So obviously the 20 minutes a game he wasn't on the floor. Really aren't any changes needed there to our offensive or defensive plan of attack. Without him able to come in at that 5 position with his inside-outside versatility, I think that does change some things in how we need to attack, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I think practice has been good for us this week, getting to spend some time there. You'll see Markel downshift a little bit and go from not only playing the 3 but also playing some minutes at the 4. I think you'll see Mike Nwoko, as he continues to develop his ability to stay out of foul trouble, you'll see those minutes increase. And then Rob Miller, his ability to play at both the 4 and 5 position becomes even more critical for us moving forward with the unfortunate loss of Jaylen for the season.
Coach, you mentioned Nwoko's foul trouble. Tom Budden Carter also had a few fouls in the Texas Tech game. What does it look like to remedy that against higher-level opponents?
Well, I think it's a great question. We need those guys on the floor. When you lose Jaylen, I thought one of the strengths of our team early in the season was our depth. You lose Jaylen's 11 points, 7 rebounds a game. You lose his experience. You lose his versatility there. You also lose the depth that we had there in the front court. So it puts a premium on defending without fouling, being very disciplined. The free throw line has been good to us this year. I think it kind of goes back to Glenn's question. We have to be more efficient getting to the rim and finishing at the rim. When you're able to do that, it gets you to your free throw line more often. And then defensively, we need to be aggressive, but also still disciplined to avoid that foul trouble.
Brought up the shooting already, but when it comes to, I guess, the rotation on the wing, would you be more willing to give earlier minutes to certain players if the shooting is not going down?
Yeah, I think so, TJ. I think you have to. It's I've talked about that. There's not a great separation in the wing rotation. So I think some of it right now is for the first time in several weeks we've had some opportunity to practice and have more competitive practices versus just preparing for the next game. So I think there's opportunities available there for other guys to step forward. Certainly there's a lot more that goes into it than just the ability to shoot the 3, but we also understand the importance of that in today's game. We've got to be able to space the floor, and it's on myself to make sure from a scheme standpoint and a design that we're creating high percentage 3s that I really believe our players can step up and shoot at a high level. And so it's been a good week of practice to focus on those things, and we still have 2 more days going into this great test here on Saturday.
I guess it's the first time we're getting to talk to you after you guys announced Jaylen's injury. Just how's he doing? I mean, that's obviously got to be devastating and gutting for him after all the work you put in to get back on the floor for this year. Just how's his mindset, I guess?
Yeah, Glenn, it's tough. I mean, it is really a tough situation. I talked to you how much I admire how he handled this first career-threatening injury in his 11th month rehab to get back from that to now be in that same situation after just 6 games is just heartbreaking. It's devastating. But as I told you, I admired and was inspired by how he approached his first injury and his return from that. His mindset could not be any better. I think he's 2 weeks where he can't do anything from a movement standpoint, so he hasn't been around as much, but he'll be on the trip with us to New Orleans. He's got a great perspective on it. He told me he loves his life. He's very happy with where he's at. He's come back from one of these devastating rehabs once before, and he's committed and determined to do it again. And I certainly have no doubts that he'll come back from it and be better than ever. So he's got a great mindset, and I know he's crushed, but he's handled it with incredible maturity. So really proud of him. It's one of the tougher things I've been through in my 30 years in doing this. To see someone of his character, his work ethic, how much LSU means to him, to have to go through something like this again, just 6 games in, is really tough to see. But again, I remain inspired by how he approaches it and how he'll attack it every single day moving forward.
Yeah, going back to the Tech game real quick, just Christian Anderson and him getting loose, what stood out on tape in terms of what you learned from that game and just how you defend players like that?
Yeah, number one, he was terrific in the game. I controlled the first half, 20 points, 5 assists. Really dominated the first 20 minutes of the game. A couple were loose ball situations where he got open looks and knocked him down. We were late on a couple ball screen coverages where we were not up to contest the shot, and he made us pay every time. I think always a trademark of an elite point guard, when you make mistakes, they make you pay for it, and you certainly saw that from him on Sunday afternoon. And so, I think we learned a lot from it, from film study, from going through it, because we know we play another elite point guard here on Saturday night in Miller. 20 points, 7 assists a game. 2.5 steals a game, gets to he's been to the free throw line 80 times and through 10 games and making 93% of them. So we'll have to do a much better job individually and as a team in defending elite point guards like that.
I think some fans see SMU's the last power conference game before SEC play. Is there a level of, extra urgency or extra anything going into this type of competition?
Yeah, I think there's extra urgency going into every game. These opportunities are very few and far between. You only get to put that jersey on, you're guaranteed 32 times a year if you stay healthy. And so I think there's an urgency from the standpoint of I love our team. We've got high character people that are all about the right things, very selfless team. That's disappointed in our performance on Sunday and is very committed to getting better as a team and knows the challenge that SMU presents with their balance, both inside, outside, offensively, defensively. I think they're a legitimate top 25 team in the country. And so our players understand the importance of not only bouncing back from Sunday, but to your question, playing against a quad one opponent in the computer rankings, and another Power 5 game against a really good team. So we approach every game the same way, but I do think our players have a sense of urgency to respond the right way, and they have as we've gone through the week of practice.
I guess kind of to follow up on that a little bit, just how do you fight, the urgency that it is just only one game and that, there's still a long season here, that one game doesn't define how you guys are going to perform against teams like that going forward? Just, do you have any conversations about that with your players at all in the, days after a game like that?
Well, I think so. I think through the film sessions, through the, the meetings, both as a team, position group meetings, the one-on-one meetings, you're trying to learn and get better from it. We're all disappointed in the result and also how we played. It's not who we are, but I think we'll learn from it and get better. We know the games like Texas Tech, the games like SMU prepare you for the 18-game gauntlet that you're going to go through when you get to SEC play, and we're well aware of all the quad one opportunities that'll be available when we get to the league. But I think our players understand, they know what their goals are in the long term for the season and understand the importance of games like this. So I expect we'll be locked in and ready to go on Saturday night and respond the right way and take full advantage of the opportunity.
I had to bring up the Boston College game a little bit with DJ. Kind of took over. I think that was his first real takeover moment. I guess as a coach, how pleasant or good is it to see your point guard be able to take the reins like that when it's necessary?
The TJ, I think that's who he is. He can do it in a variety of ways, whether it's scoring or, as you've seen throughout the season, his ability to create for others. But in a situation where Boston College had all the momentum, we were struggling to score. A minute to go, down 4, to go and just create his own shots in the lane to get us to overtime was huge. And then to start the overtime, I believe scored our first 4 points to get us off to a great start there. So he kind of went on his own mini 8-0 run to propel us forward to the victory. So, I love his mentality. I love his ability to make everyone around him better. And I think that's where, all our players, there's so much about the team that they just want to help each other get better. And I think our shooters know they make the game easier for DJ by knocking down shots. I think DJ knows he makes the game easier for Mike in our front court by getting them those lobs and creating open looks for his teammates. I've said it from day one. I mean, I love getting to coach DJ Thomas. He's a terrific player, and I think you'll just see him keep getting better and better. It's one good thing he'll learn. He's a really smart, intelligent, high IQ player. Texas Tech threw a lot of different coverages at him, and I think he'll learn a lot from that experience. And by the time we get to SEC play, he will have seen every trap, every ball screen coverage known to man. And so I think he just will keep getting better every time out.
Coach, what was the difference when the team took the momentum away from Boston College versus not being able to do that after an early deficit against Texas Tech?
Well, I think at Boston College, we were struggling to score in that second half. I said it after the game. On the road against an ACC team in the second half, we shot 26% from the floor and 11% from three. Or 9% from that. I didn't mean to give us too much credit. 9% from three. And yet we still won the game on the road. In a game we only made 3 threes. So I would look to the defense and rebounding there. While we were struggling to score, we defended at a high level. We had 15 offensive rebounds in that game. We got to the free throw line and converted. So we were able to make up for some of our shooting woes there. On Sunday against Texas Tech, when we were struggling to score, they made 9 of 15 threes in the first half. And you're just not going to overcome that in a half where you shoot that poorly from the floor. Defense and rebounding will always travel. But, again, as I said to Glenn's first question, I thought our offense in the first half against Texas Tech put our defense at a major disadvantage because we were always playing in transition and disadvantage basketball, and Texas Tech made us pay.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you. See you Saturday night. Thanks so much.